So, hello everyone, welcome to Writing 1 to the fourth lecture. This is Dr. Ala Hussein Al-Hams. Today we will be dealing with chapter number 3, punctuation. So, this is the angle we are going to look at. First, punctuation, functions of punctuation, types of punctuation, period, comma, semicolon, colon, quotation marks, apostrophe, parentheses, dash, hyphen, slash, ellipsis, and last brackets. Now, let's look at punctuation. Punctuation refers to the use of symbols or marks in written language to clarify meaning, separate structural elements, and convey the rhythm and tone of the text. Punctuation marks provide visual clues to readers, telling them how they should read the sentence. Some punctuation marks tell you that you are reading a list of items, while others marks tell you that a sentence contains two independent ideas. Punctuation marks tell you not only when a sentence ends, but also what kind of sentence you have read. This chapter covers different types of punctuation and the meanings they convey. Now, functions of punctuation. First, clarify meaning. Prevents ambiguity by structuring sentences. Look at these two sentences. Let's eat grandma versus let's eat grandma. Of course, here there is an ambiguity whether we are going to eat grandma or whether we are talking to grandma about eating. Separate IDs breaks text into readable and logical units. After dinner, comma, we will go for a walk. Indicate tone reflects emotions indicate tone. It reflects emotions or intentions. I can't believe it versus I can't believe it. Enhance readability, makes long sentences easier to follow. The long, winding road led to a beautiful, secluded beach. Types of punctuation. So as I've mentioned earlier, we're going to look at period, comma, semicolon, colon, quotation marks, apostrophe, parentheses, dash, hyphen, slash, ellipsis, and brackets. And these are the symbols that stand for each punctuation. Period, or the full stop. A period is a punctuation mark used in writing to indicate the end of a sentence or statement. It is one of the most basic and essential punctuation marks in English and other languages. End of declarative sentences. A period is placed at the end of statement or declarative sentence. Example, the cat is sleeping. Abbreviations. Periods are used in many abbreviations. Example, doctor followed by period, Mr., USA, etc. Decimal points. A period is used to indicate decimal points in numbers. Example, 3.14, $5.99. The comma. The comma is a punctuation mark that indicates a pause in a sentence or separation or things in a list. Separates elements within a sentence, such as items in a list, clauses, or adjectives. Commas can be used in a variety of ways. Look at some of the following sentences to see how you might use a comma when writing a sentence. Introductory word. Personally, I think the practice is helpful. Lists, the barn, the tool shed, and the back porch were destroyed by the wind. Coordinating adjectives. He was tired, hungry, and late. Conjunctions in compound sentences. The bedroom door was closed, so the children knew their mother was asleep. Interrupting words. I knew where it was hidden, of course, but but I wanted them to find it themselves. Dates, addresses, greetings, and letters. For example, the letter was postmarked December 8, 1945. Semicolon. The semicolon can be used in a variety of ways. The semicolon indicates a break in the flow of a sentence, but functions differently than a period or a comma. When you encounter a semicolon while reading aloud, this represents a good place to pause and take a breath. The semicolon can be used in a variety of ways. Semicolons to join two independent clauses. Example, be sure to wear clean, well-pressed clothes to the interview. Semicolon, appearances are important. Semicolons to join items in a list. For example, the color combinations where we can choose from are black, white, and gray. Then semicolon, green, brown, black, or red, green, and brown. The colon now. The colon is another punctuation mark used to indicate a full stop. Use a colon to introduce lists, quotes, examples, and explanations. You can also use a colon, the greeting in business, letters, and memos. Example, dear hiring manager, colon, to, colon, human resources, from, colon, Diana Dean. Colons to introduce a list. Use a colon to introduce a list of items. Introduce the list with an independent clause. Example, the team will tour 3 states, colon, New York, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. Colons to introduce a quote. You can use a colon to introduce a quote. Example, Mark Twain said it best, colon, quotation marks, when in doubt, tell the truth. Colons to introduce examples or explanations. For example, our company offers many publishing services, colon, writing, editing, and reviewing. Quotation marks. Quotation marks set off a group of words from the rest of the text. Use quotation marks to indicate direct quotations of another person's words or to indicate a title. Quotation marks always appear in pairs. A direct quotation is an exact account of what someone said or wrote. To include a direct quotation in your writing, enclose the words in quotation marks. Example, direct quotation, Carly said, I'm not ever going back there again. An indirect quotation is a restatement of what someone said or wrote. An indirect quotation does not use the person's exact words. You do not need to use quotations. For example, Carly said that she would never go back there. Quotations within quotations. Use quotation marks to show a quotation within a quotation. Example, when you play, I can't help it. What exactly does that mean? Example, titles. Use quotation marks around titles of short works of writing, such as essays, songs, poems, stories, and chapters in books. Usually titles of long works, such as books, magazines, albums, and novels, are italicized. Example, Annabel Lee is one of my favorite romantic poems. Now, apostrophe. An apostrophe is a punctuation mark that is used with a noun to show possession or to indicate where a letter has been left out to form a contraction. Possession, an apostrophe, and the letter S indicate who or what owns something. To show possession with a singular noun, add apostrophe S. Example, Jess's sister is also coming to the party. Contractions. A contraction is a word that is formed by combining two words. In a contraction, an apostrophe shows where one or more letters have been left out. Contractions are commonly used in informal writing, but not in formal writing. For example, I don't like ice cream. Parentheses. Parentheses are punctuation marks that are always used in pairs and contain material that is secondary to the meaning of the sentence. Parentheses must never contain the subject of a verb or a verb of a sentence. A sentence should make sense if you delete any text within parentheses and the parentheses. Example, Attack of the Killer Potatoes has to be the worst movie I have seen so far. Dash. A dash is a punctuation mark used to set off information in a sentence for emphasis. You can enclose text between two dashes or use just one dash. To create a dash in Microsoft Word, type two hyphens together. Do not put a space between dashes and text. For example, arrive to the interview early, dash, but not too early. Any of the suits, dash, except for the purple one, dash, should be fine to wear. Now we have the hyphen. A hyphen looks similar to a dash, but is shorter and used in different ways. Hyphens between two adjectives that work as one. Use a hyphen to combine words that work together to form a single description. Example, the 55-year-old athlete was just as qualified for the marathon as his younger opponents. Hyphens when a word breaks at the end of a line. Use a hyphen to divide a word across two lines of a text. Look at the examples here. My supervisor was concerned that the team meet hyphen ing or meeting would conflict with the client meeting. Slash. A slash indicates alternatives or separates all elements. For example, please bring your notebook and slash or laptop. Brackets. They are used for editorial or explanatory notes within a quotation. Example, he said this brackets the proposal needs further review. Ellipsis. Ellipses, three periods together, called an ellipsis, indicate omitted words, pauses, or trailing thoughts. It indicates omitted material or a pause in thought. Example, she hesitated, ellipsis, and then answered. I was thinking, ellipsis, maybe we should wait. And here we come to the end of this lesson. Thank you very much for your attention. You will find the document attached with the main resources. And thank you very much.